The machine itself was an exercise in brutal simplicity. Unlike other more complex execution devices, the German Fallbeil operated purely on the principle of gravity. There were no intricate spring mechanisms or complex counterweights, just a massive razor-sharp steel blade held high by a simple release lever. Once the lever was pulled, the blade was allowed to drop unimpeded. This made the Fallbeil incredibly reliable, stable, and deadly. A perfect tool for a regime obsessed with maximizing efficiency. Before Reichhart, even executions had a semblance of morbid ceremony. Prisoners might offer a last word, a final defiant glance. Reichhart stripped all of that away. His goal? To eliminate every single unnecessary second, every moment of human dignity, every chance for reaction. He aimed for the process to be so fast, so mechanical, that the victim scarcely had time to comprehend their fate before it was sealed. His improvements were surgical in their precision. Reichhart's primary objective was to minimize the time between sentencing and decapitation, turning execution into a cold, efficient process. To achieve this, he spearheaded a major operational change: the Fallbeil's tilting bodyboard. Instead of relying on time-consuming straps and buckles, the condemned were swiftly secured to a fixed bench by his assistants. This brutal simplification shortened the elapsed time of the decapitation to a mere 3 or 4 seconds. The lunette, the crescent-shaped neck clamp, snapped shut in a fraction of a second. There were no grand pronouncements, no final judgments, just the cold efficiency of metal and momentum. Reichhart even enforced total silence in the chamber. No shouts, no commands, just the chilling whir of the mechanism, the mechanical thud of the blade, and the immediate brisk movements of his crew. Bodies were instantly removed, wheeled away to be disposed of, often into specialized containers or to awaiting medical facilities for research. The block was wiped clean in a flash, ready for the next victim. This wasn't justice, it was an industrial process. This brutal operational streamlining allowed Reichhart and his assistants to perform executions at an astonishing, terrifying pace. During peak periods, they could execute a prisoner every 60 to 90 seconds. Imagine that. A human life extinguished and the machine reset, almost as quickly as you can take a breath. It allowed the Nazi regime to process thousands of enemies of the state, political dissidents, resistance fighters like the White Rose Group, ordinary criminals, through a concealed, relentless assembly line of death. He wasn't an engineer of steel, but an engineer of human extinction. We traveled to the historical execution chamber at Plötzensee prison in Berlin, a notorious site where the Fallbeil took thousands of lives during the Nazi regime. While the machine is gone, the room has been preserved exactly as it was during the height of the terror. Reichhart worked at Plötzensee, among other major sites like Munich Stadelheim, ensuring the regime's demands for mass executions were met with cold efficiency. To truly grasp the scale of Reichhart's assembly line, you have to place it in historical context. We often think of the French Revolution's reign of terror as the pinnacle of guillotine use. Over a little more than a year, around 17,000 people were formally executed by the state. That is a horrifying number, but the sheer scale of the Nazi terror dwarfs it. By the end of World War II, the German Fallbeil, operated by Reichhart and his colleagues, executed an estimated 40,000 people, not over a year but across the entire period of the regime. The Third Reich industrialized beheading on a scale the French revolutionaries could never have imagined. So, what happened to the man who operationalized this system? After the fall of the Third Reich, the civil servant who had executed thousands of political prisoners found himself arrested by the Allied forces. Johann Reichhart was put on trial for his involvement. He didn't exactly escape justice, but his fate was complex. Reichhart argued in court successfully that he was merely a state employee following the law. The Fallbeil was a legal method of execution, regardless of who was strapped to it. He was initially sentenced to a period of imprisonment, but he would soon be released. But the final chapter is one of grim, almost poetic irony. The American military government, needing someone to execute their own convicted Nazi war criminals after the war, found themselves in a unique position. They had a reliable, efficient executioner right there. So, in a final twist of fate, Johann Reichhart was rehired by the Allies. He served as the hangman and executioner for the very forces that had defeated the regime he served. He executed several dozen Nazi war criminals before finally retiring in 1947. A man who survived 3 different German regimes, always with the same job. The cold efficiency of Reichhart's system is a stark reminder of what happens when human cruelty meets mechanical perfection. We want to hear your thoughts on this dark chapter. Let us know in the comments below. If you found this history compelling, please like this video and subscribe to Gross History for more stories the textbooks left out. And until next time, Gross Historians, stay curious, but most of all, stay gross.